Roman Reigns has broken his silence about Paul Heyman in the hospital, and Roman has given us a new update concerning Paul Heyman's current medical condition, as some are fearing the worst. It's rumored that in the past few hours, the funeral for Roman's late father, Sika, took place, as Roman paid his final respects to his father and laid him to rest. But now Roman has to put one tragedy behind him and deal with another tragedy. His close friend and manager, Paul Heyman, being attacked by Solo's bloodline. And Heyman was so badly beaten, he had to be taken to the hospital. But now there are questions as to why the bloodline attacked Paul Heyman. Some believe it's because the bloodline is getting a new wise man, Solo Sikoa's father, Rikishi. Rikishi himself took to social media after the attack on Heyman and had 2 words: "It's done." But there's also been anger about this situation. Anger from fans because no one came to save Paul Heyman. Because we have to remember, this was a step-by-step attack that took several minutes. First, Solo used a Samoan spike. Heyman fell to the ground. And then Jacob Fatu jumped off the top rope and headbutted Paul Heyman. That's when they moved to the announcer's desk and powerbombed him through it. But in that time, before he was powerbombed through the desk, somebody could have came out and tried to save Heyman. Jey Uso was in the building, Triple H was in the building, and behind-the-scenes personnel who could have came out and saved him. Saved a man who is nearing 60, who is not in the best shape, who is not a wrestler, who never takes bumps, and nobody came to save him. Is it because Paul Heyman burned too many bridges? He made too many enemies, and nobody wanted to save him. Now, after he got powerbombed through the desk, okay, then security came out, SmackDown GM, Nick Aldis came out, but it was too little, too late. The damage was done, and Paul Heyman was then rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. But what is the current update about Paul Heyman in the hospital? Well, Roman Reigns has broken his silence and given us a brand new update about Paul Heyman's current medical condition. So what is next for the bloodline after sending Paul Heyman to the hospital? We are now learning that Solo Sikoa will get a championship match against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. And at some point between now and SummerSlam, the bloodline will add another new member. This time it's rumored to be Zilla Fatu. Zilla Fatu is the son of the late WWE star Umaga. And look at this. Solo Sikoa wearing the gloves of Bray Wyatt, even doing the same hand gesture. Now this is just an observation from fans. Who knows if Solo intended this to be a tribute or a hidden clue about what's to come. And if you watched the latest episode of SmackDown where Heyman was put through the desk, then you may have noticed the United States broadcast was heavily censored. This is because of people flipping off the camera, obscene chants, and because in the US, SmackDown airs on Fox, so that means they have to abide by the FCC regulations, which means no curse words on the air, or else you could be heavily fined and basically SmackDown could be thrown off the air. So many of the key moments on SmackDown had to be blacked out, had to be blurred, or large chunks of audio were missing. And resurfaced footage from a while back has returned to haunt Roman Reigns, as some are saying that, sadly, Paul Heyman ending up in the hospital was all Roman Reigns' fault. This is because on the December 15th 2023 edition of SmackDown, Roman Reigns anointed Solo Sikoa the tribal prince. And you have to remember, when you're a prince, you're now the heir apparent to the king, and in this case, the tribal chief. If Roman knew what Solo was going to do to his friend Paul Heyman, then Roman wishes that he never would have anointed Solo Sikoa the tribal prince. And Roman probably is having a lot of sleepless nights right now, wondering, what have I done? I've created a monster in Solo Sikoa and this new bloodline, and now they're taking out those closest to me. And Roman Reigns himself reportedly broke his silence concerning Paul Heyman in the hospital, as he has given a major new update about Paul Heyman's current medical condition. We all witnessed the horror as Paul Heyman was placed onto a stretcher after being slammed through the announcer's desk. He was then wheeled to a waiting ambulance and placed into the back of it, and then sirens blared as he was rushed to the emergency room at the hospital. And it's rumored that Roman Reigns broke the sad news. As of right now, Paul Heyman is still in the hospital. And if you saw just how violently he was slammed through that desk onto the floor, then it's very understandable just how badly hurt Paul Heyman was. And hearing this news, some are saying that this is it. We saw the last of Paul Heyman in WWE. Roman himself said that if Paul Heyman's not in WWE, then I'm not in WWE. So with Paul Heyman gone, could this mean that Roman is also gone? And not just gone for now, but gone forever. Because if you look at the footage, Paul Heyman went through the desk, slammed onto the floor, and Heyman seemingly was knocked out. He didn't move. He couldn't move. And that is why the split-second decision was made. We need to get this man to the hospital. If we don't, then things could become even more tragic. But as of right now, Paul Heyman remains in the hospital as Roman Reigns is doing everything he can to help his friend. What are your thoughts about the bloodline powerbombing Paul Heyman through the announcer's desk? Should they be suspended or fired? Leave a comment and give me your opinion.